Hi, I'm David Krivanek. I'm a senior program manager at the Impact Investing Institute. So we are a market building organization that is focused on connecting new economic ideas with commercial investors and market players with a focus on the potential of impact investing to help achieve social and environmental positive outcomes. So we've been very grateful to work with C3 on a project that is focusing specifically on mobilizing capital for a just transition. So what we're trying to do is to help catalytic capital providers, particularly, identify opportunities for them to advance a just transition perspective in their deployment of catalytic capital. And what this means is that at the moment, a lot of the private sector capital providers that you might be trying to engage are very focused on climate, on green investment, which is obviously great and very much needed. But what a lot of people are saying and seeing is that this might have create some form of disconnect with some of the people who are trying to raise money for projects, for example, that might have a very strong social impact. And what is really important from a just transition perspective is that you can bring these two imperatives of the green, achieving net zero globally, or not only in rich countries, but also in developing and frontier markets, but also bringing the social development needs as part of this. And specifically what with this project we're doing is that we're telling you as a catalytic capital providers, here are the things you can look out for, whether you're providing catalytic capital for fund managers, for example, or into a company or a project. Here are the things you can do to reconcile this social, which might be what these projects are focusing on, or but also bringing in the environmental dimension, which is the one that might be most attractive to the private investors that you're trying to attract. So, for example, one of the things that we're profiling in the report is the Green Outcomes Fund in South Africa. And this is a great example where local catalytic capital providers like foundations and banks have been giving money to this fund, which specifically invests in very small enterprises, in MSMEs, as we call them, micro, small, medium enterprises in South Africa and other African countries to make sure that they have the capacity to contribute to the transition to net zero. And it provides them various forms of technical assistance. It provides them with match funding for when they are able to connect with commercial investors. And it also provides a platform for them to raise more money to attract these investors that might be really focused on the green. But this is one example where you can ensure as a catalytic capital provider that it's not only big companies, very established companies that might be based elsewhere than these geographies that benefit from green investments, but also local players, which we think is really integral to making sure that the transition actually is sustainable and works in the long term and that it doesn't leave anyone behind.